Right, so we're going to do some final tweaks on the fur on the body and the head. And yes, so what I'm thinking when I'm looking at this is that the fur on the ears is sort of too tight against the body. So I'm going to fix that, and we're going to do that by using our, our mask that we created, our mask brush. And I'm going to create a new layer just so we separate the changes. I want to be able to turn off clumping at any time if I want to do some new broad changes in the direction of the fur. So, okay, let's mask it off, mask it off. What I want to achieve is more like have some hairs just go out and get nicer furry profile. Just going to do a test render. Let's see. Yeah, looks more natural, I think. Okay, let's do the same on the other ear. Yeah, it's better. Okay, clear the screen from the snapshot with Control N, and now we're going to check on some stray hairs. It's like, okay, we dragged out these hairs to create a nicer profile, but I think there's some hairs that shouldn't go so much astray. It's a little bit up here that I want to fix. Maybe something here and here. Basically, I don't want them to poke out like this too much. So let's try and fix that. We're going to change our masking brush to the mask Lasso. Okay, when you're using mask Lasso with FiberMesh, you mask by vertices, and not the entire fiber mesh at once, as you do with mask pen. You can see you just mask off the entire hair at once, but with mask Lasso, you just mask off the vertices that are within the mask. Oh, this is interesting. Haven't seen this. I created a bald area. Just gonna merge these two together and fix that part. So now I'm just doing a quick before and after shot. So I like the profile better on this one. We got rid of these areas down here. That was a problem. I think it looks better. Yeah. That area. Some of this stuff. Yeah. Good. Another thing I want to fix is the facial area. I just want to go over that a bit more. It's I'm just gonna try a quick render here, and it's a bit untidy. Like this is a bit rough. I want to cut that off or shorten it, and I want to make this. It's a bit too long. The hairs over his nose, and I don't want these covering his eyes as well. We're gonna create a new layer, fill it, and I'm gonna mask off with not the lasso, but with a mask pen. Just gonna mask off the upper area here. And because I don't want to happen to change the stuff down here. Just want to smooth this with a smooth brush just to shorten it. So it doesn't... I don't want it like overlapping his mouth. Yeah. And the reason I'm using wireframe on the fur right now is just it's so much easier to see what's happening than with this color. Got a greater contrast of things. Yeah, sometimes I turn off the clump layer. I'm gonna name that clumping. Because when you go over something that is clumped with a Groom brush, that works like this, you are actually destroying the clumping, as you can see. So if you're gonna do those kind of strokes, just hide the clumping first, do the stroke, and then turn it back on. So let's do a quick render. Still got some okay, we still got some areas here that I want to fix, just some weird scraggliness. So I'm going to turn rec on that layer, fill. Oh, I didn't have RGB on. Fill. Thank you. And masking it off. Yeah, turn off clumping, that's true. And just brush it. Okay. So the clumping could be a part of what's causing this, so I'm going to have that layer turned on. Before, after. Nice. I'm gonna merge this down. We've done some fixes now, but so let's make sure that we're satisfied with the render stuff. Let's try and do a render. Yeah. It's kind of nice. I'm just gonna go over here and put my material over here. So I realized that there is some ambient light going on in the shader, and I really don't want that generally. I think it's better to control ambience up here because it's a global thing. I don't want it to be on a shader unless it would be like lights. I feel it sort of lacks definition in the like clumps and the small things happening. It feels very there's not enough small details. I want to sort of emphasize that. I'm gonna turn my diffuse down a bit and my specular up, and then I want to make like a broader specular curve, and I'm gonna see what happens. Wow, you can see that the specular is really it doesn't look very good. It's very white, and naturally it's like metal and like gold and hair. When you have specular on that, it sort of the specular takes the color from the actual color of the object, and that is not the case with other kind of materials. So there is a slider down here called metallicity. We're going to crank it up, and now the specular will inherit the color from the object, so it's better. Gonna have to crank it up though. Okay. There is also some settings in the FiberMesh. You can sort of, I mean, I'm going to try and crank this down. These settings, root anisotropic and tip anisotropic, defines how the normals are pointed in the FiberMesh. I'm more happy with something like this than this. The specular anisotropic stuff, it just gets so broad, and I mean, if I don't think I would get a nicer result if I turn the root stuff up. Yeah, it's like there's no definition at all. So I'm just gonna crank it down. -84. Personally, I think it's better. So I'm kind of happy with how this is turning out. Maybe turn down diffuse a bit. See what happens. Ah, no. That's better, I guess. So I'm kind of happy how this is turning out. It's yeah, I'm satisfied. I think we're gonna do like this, go up to shadows, sorry, down to shadow, and just crank that up, and that's in order to get more defined, more definition in the fur. Also try and just getting rid of, or introducing more anti-aliasing, so the fur doesn't look so jagged.
Okay, let's talk about coloring this character's fur. I'm quite happy with the color, but I thought I'd just go over how we color fur. And what I usually do when poly painting stuff in ZBrush is I start off by doing like a base with just, yeah, the big stuff, and then adding layers and like adding small details. Maybe painting, you know, a concrete texture over, and just dial down the layer, just get a bit of variation. So this guy, I thought maybe we would do some white details on him just to try it out. So let's choose a brush, BG and colorize, BGR, okay. So let's create a layer to paint on. There we go. Just fill it real quick. Yeah. So if I paint now, get a really weird effect. Okay. Let's say I want to add white. Really strange. And the reason why we're getting that is we are using fast preview. So if you're going to paint, you have to deactivate that just for a bit. And then paint in the white details. Like this. So I'm not planning on doing something that's really pretty. And whatever. I'm just going to do something really just kind of rough to let you get an idea of how you poly paint. Fibers. So what you could do is just load that brush that we created. I have mine saved out a certain place. I'm talking about that random masking brush. And then I was thinking we could add some random color variations. So I'll use a new layer for that as well. I'm just gonna paint. Oh, yeah. If you have restarted ZBrush, you need to adjust the stroke. These settings are not saved with the brush, sadly. So you have to lower the flow and crank the placement up. Now that we're done with our masking, I want to try and paint this. I'm just going to invert the mask and hide it, Control H. And then I'm just going to choose a black color. Just paint away. And don't worry if we're going, way too dark, because we can always dial it down in the layer settings. Yeah, looks horrible now, but just dial it down. And that's the beauty of it. You can just, increase and decrease. I thought I should give him some lighter variations too. So let's do the same workflow with masking out strands and then paint it white. Okay, now let's invert the mask, hide the mask, Control H, and choose a lighter color but with some color in it, like reddish blue but white. Then just paint away. It's going to zoom away and so I get it all over the entire model. And since we do the black and white variations in 2 different layers and masking sessions, we won't have the black and white exactly on the same place, which is good. Yeah. As I said, this is nothing that's supposed to look perfect. It's just a rough coloring, showing off painting fur. So that's it. Well, that's basically the coloring workflow when it comes to fur.